Hi, this is Kevin Sousa. In this short audio, I'm answering the question about what skills should I master as a public speaker. With respect to your communication skills, practice articulating your ideas clearly and concisely. Practice storytelling so you can captivate and engage your audience. I want to talk to you a little bit today about speaking to an audience. I'll never forget the first time I ever was in front of an audience. And that was when I was in junior high school and I was in 7th grade, and I played my harmonica, and I got to do a little harmonica solo during the junior high school conference. And it was really scary because, you're speaking in front of all kinds of people, most of the people you don't even know. And the others that you do know, you're hoping that you do a good job, and you're wondering. Well, over the years, after having performed in so many shows and having done many speaking engagements over the years, particularly when it was old school, before the internet even existed, I was able to learn how to speak to an audience. The first thing you want to do is practice. Now, practice how? Well, there's two ways. You can practice by reading at first, out loud, and then practice by talking to yourself. Go in the mirror and start talking to yourself, because rehearsal is important. I'm sure that everybody you see in movies, on TV, that are performing either in a sitcom or whatever, they rehearse. And that's important so that you can deliver a talk to your audience that they'll be interested in hearing. And when you're speaking, don't read. Okay, word from a paper gets pretty boring pretty quickly. Spoken language is a lot less formal and wordy than the written language. So reading kind of makes you sound stiff, kind of dampens any sense of energy in your performance. You also want to be yourself. Even in a formal speech, you want your personality to come through. When you're nervous, it's easy to tense up and become a little awkward, but make an effort to stay natural. Smile and make eye contact to your audience. I'm smiling right now, and you probably can tell, right? Now, you'll get much better rapport and credibility by being yourself when speaking. You want to also aim for a positive state of mind and a confident attitude. Even if you don't feel it, try to project confidence. Keep reminding yourself, hey, I can do this. And the audience wants me to succeed. You want to visualize that positive outcome and take that nervous energy that you have and harness it and tell yourself that you're excited, that you have interesting, engaging things to share with your audience. And when you walk to the front of the room, carry yourself in a confident manner. Stand straight, look at the group, take a breath, and smile. Concentrate on what you're going to tell your audience rather than your degree of nervousness, right? You also want to use what we call verbal signposting. In other words, kind of give an indication of what's coming a little bit later in your talk, because that's an effective way of maintaining audience interest. Use transitions to kind of draw your audience a roadmap of your presentation. So, for example, you could say, hey, in a couple of minutes, I'll be giving you some interesting examples. But first, there's one way of verbal signposting. You can also say something like, there are 4 ways to prevent this. First, second, third, finally. Now, again, verbal signposting is a very powerful technique to use with your audience. What skills should I master as a public speaker? Well, while you're speaking, be aware of your body language, facial expressions, and delivery. Also, be funny when you can, because it lightens the mood and engages your audience. Next thing you want to do is use examples and illustrations and humor, right? That's what I've always done, and it works. It helps create interest when you use examples and different illustrations. And of course, helping people to laugh and smile is also very helpful because it retains the audience's attention. Next thing you want to do is ask questions and invite participation, So invite your audience to participate by drawing them into a mutually thinking process. Like, for example, you can speak directly to an individual audience members if appropriate. So you could say, hey, I take it from your reaction that you've read something similar, huh? So when you see somebody cracking up like that, You can say that, and that helps to invite participation in the audience. You want to be aware of eye contact and body language, okay? If you glance at the faces, don't be afraid to meet people's eyes, but don't stare, okay? Use what I call a 3-second method. Look straight into the eyes of an audience member for 3 seconds at a time. Direct contact with a number of people every now and then, it helps the whole speech. It just does. Body language is important. How you stand, how you walk, how you move about with hand gestures and facial expressions. It's far more preferable than sitting down or standing still with your head down reading from a paper. And you want to learn from the pros. Always watch and listen and learn from the pros who are up there speaking as well. You want to watch high-quality presentations. I know that some of the TED Talks are really high-quality presentations. And be aware of your pace. How you're speaking to an audience requires a slower pace than normal conversation. Nervous speakers, they want to speed it up. So avoid that. Your pitch, you want to be a medium, comfortable pitch. High-pitched voices can sound harsh. High pitch is due to shallow breathing and being nervous, by the way, but deep, steady breathing. That helps reduce nerves, okay? So how do I stop being nervous? Well, reduce the pitch of your voice a little bit, like I just did. And tone. Tone really helps, doesn't it? See, I sounded like I was a little sad there, didn't I? It expresses feeling. Tone expresses your feeling. You can be warm and sincere in your voice, or reveal how strongly you feel about a topic. And then your volume. Your volume should be loud enough for the back rows to hear you comfortably. Of course, if you've got a microphone, but you still want to be aware of your tone. And then, like I just did, pause. Inexperienced speakers are often afraid to pause. They see pausing as failure and fluency, but when you're an experienced speaker, you use pause to a good effect. Pausing can focus attention on what's been said or what's about to be said. So those are just different ideas, whether it's in a Zoom with 3 or 4 people or whether it's in an audience with 3,000 or 4,000 people. The principles and practices are the same. What skills should I master as a public speaker? Needless to say, before you're scheduled to speak, do your research and prepare thoroughly. Oh, by the way, give full attention to your audience because it proves to them that you sincerely care because you're listening. I hope everybody here goes and grows and doesn't let anyone steal your dreams. Bye for now.